We're gonna hang out the washing on the sea-free line. If you win me dirty washing on the deck. We're gonna hang out the washing on the sea-free line. 'Cause the washing
Today in TOK, we're going to... What are we going to do? We're going to time travel. Time travel in TOK. And when we time travel in TOK today, we're going to discover paradoxical logic. And yes, that is a zombie. So, how could I possibly tie all this together with that thing, and that thing, and that thing, and me dressed like this? Time travel. Are we going forward or backward? Forward or backwards? Well, we're going to go backwards. I would like to go forward if I had my choice, but today we're going backwards. When are we going back to? When are we going back? We're going back to 1936. More specifically, the summer of 1936. Okay, World War II stuff. I don't really know if this is World War II card, but I don't care. It's close. Anyway, and since boot camp, I put on a few pounds. But anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to go back to 1936. Why 1936? Well, because in 1936, Hitler had his Berlin Summer Olympics. And this was the source of pride for Hitler. And he said, "Das ist nicht möglich that a black man will ever defeat my Aryans. Das ist nicht möglich. Nein." Okay, so he said, and he put a challenge out to the world. None of these inferior races will ever beat my wonderful aid. You're my wonderful Aryans. They're so awesome. Okay? So, enter somebody named Jesse Owens. Some of you may have heard of Jesse Owens. A black, fast guy. American. And he went to the get so ahead of myself. He went to the Berlin Olympics. And he raced Hitler's Aryans. And he beat them. He beat plenty of them. He came away with 4 gold medals. And Hitler said, "Ich bin böse! Ich bin sehr böse!" That means I'm very angry. And he started World War II. Well, I don't know if that's the direct cause of it. You might have sort of like other ambitions in there. But anyway, so it embarrassed Hitler. It made Jesse Owens, launched him to stardom. Super famous in the US. They made a movie about him a couple years ago, called Race, R-A-C-E. Anyway, so basically, what we're going to do is we're going to time travel because we know Jesse Owens is a fast guy. And we're going to bring somebody with us. We're going to bring a zombie back in time with us. Now, normally, I would have students here, and I would have one of you come up, and I would have another one of you come up, and I would say, "Okay, you're Jesse Owens, and you're a zombie." Imagine that, being turned into a zombie in class. That's why I have that. We have a hard time biting through it. Anyway, but since there are no students here, and thanks, COVID. But anyway, since there are no students here, I had to find something else. This is Jesse Owens. And this is a zombie. It's a zombie horse. But you gotta use your imagination. You can tell it's a zombie horse because he doesn't have a bottom mouth. Somebody shot it off. You ever wonder about that? Why don't the animals turn into zombies? They do in Resident Evil, but you ever seen a zombie horse? What would it eat? Like, would it attack bales of hay? I don't know. Anyway, this is a zombie horse, no mouth. I bet it's really that zombie. And this is Jesse Owens. what we're going to do is race. We're going to have a race between Jesse Owens and the zombie. Okay? And so to get the zombie to go down here, we're going to put a plate of brains over here. And Jesse Owens just likes to run, so he's going to do his best. Anyway, so here's some premises. Some math. Remember, we're doing math. Here are some premises. Jesse Owens can run 100 meters in 10 seconds, flat. Got it? Zombie can run 100 meters in 50 seconds. Okay? Now, zombie, brainstem damage, medulla is all. That's the part which gets your coordination, the medulla. Zombies have no real problems with the medulla. That's why they're all like. Anyway, that's where the virus lodges. Anyway, so, but you know, he's actually pretty fast for a zombie. I've seen some zombies, they don't even really know where they're going, but he at least can go pretty much a straight line. So what we're going to do, we're going to give zombie a head start though, because it's not fair to start at the same spot, right? So we're going to let the zombie start at the 50-meter mark. It's not really here in the 50 meters, because if I put it 50 meters, it'll be behind the stand, so, I mean, if I put it right in the middle, it'll be behind the stand. Use your imagination. Anyway, and Jesse Owens will start on the start line, like he should. So anyway, they start at the same time. Jesse Owens runs 10 meters or 100 meters in 10 seconds. Zombie runs 100 meters in 50 seconds. Here you guys go. Get your little brains cooking there. So ding, they're gonna run, they're gonna start. When will Jesse Owens catch up with the zombie? I'll tell you what. While you're thinking, I'll play some more World War II's music. Brings a tear to my eye.
We're gonna hang out washing on the sea, free line, every windy, dirty washing on the deck. We're gonna hang out washing on the sea, free line, 'cause the washing day is here.
They're actually singing about washing clothes. I'm glad music has moved on. Anyway, so what did you figure out? Well, whatever you figured out, you're wrong. Because Jesse Owens will never, ever, ever catch up with the zombie, and now I'm going to explain why. Okay? So here's some ideas about math. Math is based on logic, but logic can prove the impossible. What does that say about math? Is it reflective of reality? Zombie doesn't seem to think so. He has worms in his eye. Anyway, there's Jesse Owens, real life Jesse Owens. Well, he's dead now, but real life what he used to be. So, anyway, so Jesse Owens is, now, here's some premises, correct? I'm going to go through these with you. If Jesse Owens is going to catch up to the zombie, he must first get through the point where the zombie was. Is that not correct? It is correct. There's no way for him to catch up to the zombie without first getting to the point that the zombie started at. So, what happens is, here comes Jesse Owens. I'm running so fast, I just beat a bunch of Nazis. Here he comes. But, by the time Jesse Owens has got to the zombie, where the zombie was, the zombie has moved. Right. There we go. So, the spot will be called point A, but when when zombie gets to point A, the zombie will have already moved, and the point he is at that point in time is called point B. Make sense? So now the zombie is at point B, Jesse is at point A. The distances would be a little different, but anyway. So now Jesse must get to point B before he can get to the zombie. So Jesse gets to point B, but then the zombie's already moved on. Damn zombie, he's already moved on to point C. Whoops, wait, sorry, dude. He's already moved on to point C. Jesse's pissed. He moves over here and says, "You dumb zombie, stop it." Zombie says, "No. He's so upset he almost killed himself. But anyway, so then the zombie moves on to point D. Jesse Ewing says, oh no, I first have to get to point D before I can get to zombie. He moves to point D. But then by that time, the zombie's at point E, and I think I might even be out of the screen. And the point is this, is Jesse Owens always must get to the point where the zombie was, but by the time he gets there, the zombie's already moved. It'll be incrementally smaller and smaller and smaller, the distance between them, but Jesse Owens will never, ever, ever, ever catch up to the zombie. Okay? So when will he catch up to him? The distance between them is getting smaller and smaller, but the fact remains that the zombie will always be moving, and as soon as Jesse gets to any point N, the zombie will have moved, and the zombie will be at a new point. You can never catch him. Never. Logically, it's 100% sound. Here, I'll give you another one. Well, no, I'll give you another one. Okay. So, whoops. So, absurdity. Actually, I will give you another one. It's absurdity, right? Well, the paradox may be an absurdity, but the logic is sound. What does that say about math, since it is based on logic, and logic can prove the impossible? Like this. Let's say I live over there by the zombie and Jesse, and I want to go home. But before I get home, before I travel the distance home, I have to go to the halfway point. There's no way I can get to my final destination without first crossing the halfway point. It is impossible. And I can't get to the final place without the halfway point first. But okay, so I get to the halfway point. It's not really halfway, halfway's in front of the thing. But anyway, and now when I get to the halfway point, there's a new halfway point. I can't get to the final destination before I get to the halfway point. So I go again. Okay, here I am. And what? There's a new halfway point. I can't get home before I go to the halfway point. And then there's another halfway point. And then there's another halfway point. And there's always going to be another halfway point. There's an infinite number of halfway points. So it's impossible for me to get home because first I have to get to the halfway point. So what's going to happen is I'm going to get stuck at the door. I'm going to be like, oh, something like that. That's like a cross between Matrix and Chewbacca. Anyway, so the paradox may be an absurdity, but the logic is sound. You can't get to the final destination before a halfway point, and there's always another halfway point. All right, anyway, what does this say about math? I don't know. You tell me. But that is all for this lesson. So, now some outro music, some more about washing.
The weather may be wet or fine, we'll just ride along without a care. We're gonna hang out the washing on the sea-free line, if that sea-free line's still there.